Okay, so this is the job. You can see customers got a nice indoor water feature, which they haven't welcomed. Let's go and see where it's coming from. How are we doing, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm filming this from the comfort of my house because I'm tired. I'm filming this on the Friday and I've just got back from installer show last night, pretty late. And before that, I was up in Turkey with VCA as well. So it's been a manic week and I've still got one more trip left this evening. Me and Nikki are going up to the Cotswolds for one of her friends' weddings this weekend. So by the time you guys are watching this, I should be back home, if not on my way back. Hopefully I should be home already. But yeah, this week has been a manic week. The videos that are going to be in this video obviously been filmed like a few weeks ago. So I've got a bit of a mixed bag, got some leaks, got some servicing, got a few repairs. So I hope you enjoy it. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next video. The glorious life of being self-employed. It's bank holiday Monday and I've been called out. It's actually one of my landlords that I do some work for regularly. So they actually called me on Saturday to say that the tenant was saying that the boiler was making some funny noises. And I said to her, I can either come out on Sunday, so obviously going to be a little bit extra charge, but on Monday, bank holiday Monday, I am kind of working anyway. So I said I can come out at my normal rate. So they've asked me to come out today. Let's go and have a look, see what's going on with the boiler. Right, so main Obsolete. Let's pop it on. They're saying that when they're running the heat on hot water, that's going to the red. So that's first telling me expansion vessel problem. Let's run a hot tap. Right, so it's fired up. That's dropped down. PRV. It looks like it's been going at some point. It's not wet at the moment, but the tenant's had it off for a couple of days, so I'll top up some pressure. Right, that's locked out. Okay. And on again, what's the temperature set? 56. Just want to see if that's starting to go again, if it's all right. It seems dry at the moment. Hot water seems to be okay. Hey, do you mind popping the heating on for me? Alright, let's check the heating. So I reckon it's just a vessel problem because I've given it a full service. Where's it gone? You can see how they're only in October last year. It's had a new electrodes, new burner seal. It's had a full service, so it sounds like the expansion vessel is just full of water, which I had repressurized last time. Let's just make sure that it's not actually ruptured. It's just full of air. Oh, where did that go? I'll grab that in a minute. Yeah, that's fine. Right, let's just pump that out. Right, just drain the boiler down and expansion vessel, you can see it's absolutely flat. So So that's all pumping out there. Whilst that's doing, I've also noticed I took off the nut on the PRV at the bottom there, and I noticed that it is a little bit wet underneath, so got myself a new PRV from Van, so I'm going to get that swapped out as well. So just letting this pump out, swap out that, recharge this, check the threaded valve, make sure it's not letting by, and then we should be all good to go. Right, let's have a look at that. Right, that's still holding at 1.1, so we know that the vessel's fine, it's not ruptured inside. What I did notice as well was the AAV had gone, so that was all completely crusted over. And I've taken the PRV out, and that actually looks, well, pretty much in good nick. So what I've done is to save the customer some money, I've given this a clean up. I'm going to pop this back in. I've cleaned up the orifice as well for the PRV. So you can see inside there, that's actually nice and clean. And for the same price, I've just changed the AAV instead. It's because the AAV and the PRV for these, they're pretty much the same price. So swapped out the AAV instead, cleaned up the PRV, going to pop that back in. Expansion vessels holding pressure, so that's fine. Let's get it all back together, recharge it, repressurize the boiler and test it and make sure it's all sweet. Right, there we go. Heating is on, it's not overheating, pressure's holding. Obviously there's going to be a little bit of air in there, so it's going to fluctuate a little bit, but that's now full of air. AAV's been changed, PRV's been cleaned. It is not letting by. Oh, that's just from previously where I had it out. Oh, I dumped the pressure out for there, but it's all looking good to me. So, bank holiday special, we're out. Okay, so it's Tuesday today. It is the 30th of May, so it's the day after the final May Day bank holiday. Had a call yesterday from a customer saying that they've got a leak and it's coming through the ceiling downstairs. They sent me a video. It's coming from the toilet, from the inlet valve. I'm not sure whether it's coming from the actual inlet valve itself, or it could be the fiber washer, or what it is. I've got an inlet valve with me. I've got a new flexor connection with me. Let's go inside and have a look, see what's going on. Okay, so this is a job. You can see customers got a nice indoor water feature, which they haven't welcomed. Let's go and see where it's coming from. So they sent me a video last night just to, so it's coming from the toilet, but wasn't sure exactly where it was coming from, but I've just had a look, and let's get the good old Unilight out. I'll just pop that like that. So luckily, I think it's just coming from the washer, because that's all dry up there. The water's literally just coming from there. So just got a couple of fiber washers, so we'll crack that open and swap it out. Okay, so I've had to actually put 2 washers in there. I put 1 fiber washer in there first and it was still weeping. So then just doubled up on the fiber washers, nipped it back up. Obviously it's a plastic thread, so we don't want to go too hard on it. But yeah, water's back on now. It's all full. So I'm just leaving that on test at the moment, but so far so good. As long as that holds, we're done, we're out of here, and probably at some point I may be back to change the whole guts inside, because when you flush this, you have to pull the handle twice, so the little flapper underneath is probably ruptured or split. So I may be back in the future to basically just change out all the gubbins inside, but for now, we've stopped the leak, which is the main thing. Okay, so this next job I've got is a leaking shower valve. Now, these ones are pretty much obsolete. So you've got 60mm pipe centers there. It's a vertical bar shower, and it's an old Triton one. I had a look on Triton's website, and even they're obsolete on there. But luckily, my merchant, he just comes up with this sort of stuff. He had one, and it's an exact like-for-like replacement for it. So only thing is, because it is a gravity system, now you guys might remember this from one of the previous videos, this job where I had to sort out the immersion for this one. I'm not going to be touching the gate valve, because we know what happens when we touch gate valves on old systems. So yeah, it's not even worth it. I'm going to jump in the loft, bung the cold water storage tank, and then because the hot and cold on that shower are both off of that, so I'm going to bung off the cold water storage tank, crack that one off, and whack the new one on. So hopefully it shouldn't take too long. Right, at least got somewhere to walk. Cold water cold water storage tank is right in front of me as I come into the loft hatch. So what's that? That's the feed. Let's shut that off and let's have a look. So we've got feeds coming off of here. They'll be going to the tank. I was hoping that if they've got a lever valve there might be a lever valve down here, but I don't think there is. So I think all I'm going to do is just stick my hand in here and yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to stick my hand in there, put 2 bungs in there, and that should be us. Right, so there you go. 2 bungs in there, so the outlets are bunged. Now, oh, that light is bright. So yeah, I'm gonna go downstairs, whip off that shower valve, and whip the new one on. Right, so that's fed off of the bit of mass dropping on there. Hot and cold both fed off the tank, so that's obviously slowing down. Once that stops, well, that should be right now. Shut those off, and I can start taking that apart. Right, that's the new bar mixer on. It was literally one off, one on. I put a new shower hose and a new shower head on because that's all manky as well. Bungs are out, so turn it on. Lovely. It's not leaking from where it was leaking before. Got a nice, decent flow there. And we have cold, hot. Yep, that's getting warm. You guys are just going to have to take my word for it. And that's cold. And that is tepid. So let's turn that off. Stay. I don't know, I think this is battered as well, but actually. There we go. Cool. So now they have a working shower down here. Because the other option was, if we couldn't get one with 60mm pipe centers, is taking the tiles out, repiping it, and then putting a standard horizontal bar mixer in. But luckily my merchant had one on the shelf. He's had it in his shop sitting around there for about donkeys, and he's been trying to get rid of it. I sent him a picture of it and he goes, "You're in luck, I've literally got one left, so you can have it." So yeah, light for light swap over, job done. Right, so this job we've got here, I need to stop saying right at the beginning of all my videos, don't I? I need to come up with another catchphrase. This job that we're doing today is a full service on a Worcester Green Star RI. So it's a heat only boiler, which means there's not going to be any other components inside there that need looking at in terms of wet work. So no AAVs or anything like that, no PRVs. It's going to be getting new set of electrodes, burner seal, gas tube, bearing plate. That's going to be the full service on that. Clean the filter. I've already sort of warned the customer that there's a chance that these leak, because they do. It's had a new expansion vessel recently, so if we listen to that, that's nice and hollow, so it doesn't need recharging. I think it was only fitted last week by a colleague of mine. And gas meter is literally just there. So we've got nice straight gas run straight to the boiler. Boiler's in the garage, got a nice little work surface. I'm gonna clear some stuff out there, put everything up there, get all the bits out from the van that I need, and we'll get cracking. And the funny thing is, customers already looked me up on YouTube before I got here, so they knew when I asked them, "Am I right to film?" And they say, "We knew you were going to ask that. It's absolutely fine. Go ahead." So happy days. Let's get unloaded and let's get cracking. So tightness test is done. Got 1 millibar drop on there. There's no smell of gas. We've only got this gas run going to the boiler there, and then I believe it then goes off to the cooker. Where is that going? So that goes up So it's that pipe there. I think it could even be that compression cap. And then, yeah, look, it goes down into barrel, so could even be on there. But it's a millibar drop. There's not been any smell of gas reported. I've just checked with the customer, so we're good to crack on. Managed to get the case off. Customer's got me set of steps, so I don't have to get my tall ones out the van. So I can literally just get up here and start taking things apart. I mean, whoa, it's a bit wobbly. Looks all good on visual inspection, but we will be changing what's necessary. So let's start taking apart and crack on from there. Okay, so boiler's been all stripped out. Got the fan assembly, gas tube, bearing plate, that's all there. Electrodes are actually looking pretty good. So what we might do is keep the electrodes, but obviously change the burner seal because that's all crusted away. You can see that's crumbling, but I don't think the electrodes actually need changing because they are pretty much brand spanking new. So got new burners. Well, the gas tube's going to come with a new red seal anyway, and I always change these because the ones with the ribs, that's the old style one. The new one is basically just a nice round tube. So change that over, have a look at the bearing plate, most likely change that, see what sort of condition it's in. But yeah, the electrodes will give them a proper clean up, and then we should be okay to reuse them. Just need to change the burner seal there. Oh, right, let's see. Normally I can get the top baffle out just with my hand. Luckily they've had the boiler off before I came, so that's good. Right, that looks in good nick. No splits or anything like that, no cracks. Right, so let's pop that down there. Now, the next one, I always forget which. Yeah, so that's the one that's going to go down in here. This is a case of trying to get it hooked onto the teeth there. Oh, how's that got stuck already? It's not always easy doing it with one hand either. Go. Don't drop it. Right, I'm going to need to use. Let's move this out the way. Right, that's the second baffle out. So we'll give that a scrub up there. Let's have a look, see what the inside of the heat exchanger looks like. Let's grab my Unilight. Okay. Oh, it's not too bad. Don't look too bad, to be fair. Give that a scrub. Give it a jet out. Yeah. Shouldn't be too bad to clean that out. Right, so what I've got is the Unilight literally just stuck on there, shining the light straight down there. Taking out the condense trap because I don't want that to get clogged up with all the dirt. Wedged a plumb tub right underneath there where the condense is going to come out. Car shirt. Let's bring that up here. So from there, this is the other great thing. I can leave that there and that will reach all the way up here. And if I can squeeze it, bombs away. Right, let me get that done. You guys know what it's like to clean this out, so you don't need to see this. I'm going to get it jetted out, cleaned out, and then we'll pop it all back together. Right, condense trap has been cleaned and popped back together. And up here, so hopefully you can see a bit more clearer now. So that's been jetted out. Obviously these kebab heat exchangers, they're impossible to get fully clean, but that is cleaner than it was before. It wasn't too bad to begin with anyway, but yeah, it's cleaner now. And where's the little plum tub? So yeah, there wasn't too much dirt that came out of the condense trap, but yeah, it's good that it's been cleaned out now. That's back together. Now I'm gonna change the gas tube, have a look at the bearing plate, change the electrodes. And do you know what, one thing I will say to you, and I've done this a few times, you put it all back together, you forget to put the baffles and the burner back in, and then I've had to take it all back out again, because it's just easy. Because this isn't something that you take out all the time. Most of the time it's the electrodes and the burner seal that needs to be changed. This obviously only do when you're doing a full service. So a few times I've literally just put it all back together, turned back and forth, and I had to take it all back out again. So yeah, going to clean up the baffles, put those back first, put the burner back in, then I'll start with that, so at least I know all those bits are back inside. Right, that's all back together behind me. So I've got the baffles back in. Actually jetted the bottom baffle out with the Karcher as well. I always forget, is it Karcher or Karcher? I'll have to look it up. Let's start taking this apart. First thing I've noticed here, don't think there was anything on there, but it may not focus on the camera, but see right there, it's starting to split. So these definitely need changing. Let's have a look at the bearing plate now. To get this off, it's clockwise, you've got to turn it to actually get it off, not anti-clockwise. Let's have a look. See, that's got a little rip in it as well. So change over the bearing plate and the gas tube. Like I said, electrodes, I'm going to brush them up, give them a clean up, and change the burner seal. Let's grab that out of here. So where's it gone? It's out here. It's dropped out. There we go. Got the bits for that. And gonna need my wire brush for the electrodes. Cool. Let's get all this sorted out now. So all these servicing parts have been changed now. So I've got new burner seal. There's the old one, so you can see where it's starting to fail, starting to crack there. So that's been changed over. Gas tube has been changed over, so you can see now that's just a nice solid pipe tube even, whereas the old one has got these ribs on it, and this start to split just there. Does it split anywhere else? Well, I've had to run a Stanley through it, so it might be some more splits than there were, but that was definitely going there. So that's been swapped over. Also changed over the fan seal which sits in there. Bearing plate's been changed as well. New O-ring on there. That's been cleaned up. Electrodes nice and clean. So now let's pop it all back in there. Oh, I left the new light on. That's going to run out of charge soon. Right, let's have a look at the old filter. I've isolated the valves. They're not leaking at the moment, but we know what they're like. Might leak when you close them again. Boom, 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 boom. Wow. That's more sludge than I expected. Let's give that a clean and pop it back. So just doing my final checks now. FGA, gas rated it, and what we've got here. 15 RI, and we had 15.6 kilowatt net, so that's fine. Maximum rate, FGA was spot on. Minimum looks like it needs a little bit of tweaking. It should be 9.2 CO2, we've got 9.6, so do a quick adjustment on that to bring that down, and then check the maximum rate again, and if that's all good, isolate the gas, let it lock out, check the safety devices are working, and we should be out of here. Oh, put a little label on there from them with my little Nimbot label maker.